Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, there's been reports that basic food may double in price, like eggs. Okay, I bought these eggs today for $2.98, and for where I live, $2.98 is really cheap. I eat quite a few eggs. A lot of times I will eat egg white so I can freeze the yolks and bake it. So I heard some stuff today while I was watching some YouTube videos. Not YouTube, YouTube videos. And they're saying, you have to take YouTube with a grain of salt. So, but in this case, I think that there might be some credence to these claims. So I fried 4 pieces of bacon crispy. I was frying my bacon in the oven, and I got this idea. I would cook 2 pounds of bacon, and it set off my smoke alarm. I go, oh, forget it. It is not that hard to fry bacon. I liked it at first until that happened, but it's really bad when that happens because the smoke alarms are at the top of my vaulted ceilings, and it was in the middle of the night and they wouldn't shut up. Anyway, I have bacon dripping. So this wasn't very greasy bacon, so I added 1 tablespoon of oil. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour. You don't have to be really, if you're not, too much into into gravy making. Just sprinkle a little bit on at a time. And mainly you just want to cook your flour to get the raw taste out of it. I want to talk about what they didn't mention: potatoes. So I like to keep potatoes in the house, either instant or fresh potatoes, mostly fresh. But you're storing food so that if there's some temporary spike in price, you'll have food in the house. So I mentioned to you last night I made rice bowls. Those were good. But mainly in my family, it's always been potatoes more than rice. Okay, I'm going to flip my egg over just to make sure. So one thing about potatoes is take a look at this. I grew these from a couple potatoes I got at the food bank, and there's a tomato plant in there as well. I have to get some dirt. So, say potatoes versus rice, okay? Remember the stuffed potato I made with bacon and, you can get turkey bacon, or it could be sausage, or it could be hamburger. A lot of people don't like pork. It doesn't have to be bacon. They made no mention of pork. That's good because bacon doesn't take much space in the freezer, and bacon is good. I just want to brown my flour a little bit too. Okay, I think my egg is almost done. One thing they're saying is that eggs could essentially double. If that happened, they would be, at this price, they would be $6 for 12. But it's not unusual here for our eggs to be $5. So if they if they doubled, that could be really expensive. I'm not sure I think that would ever happen. $5 is not unusual though. And what's happened is they're saying there's been some outbreaks of avian flu. And then the real issue probably is the cost of the food. Remember I mentioned to you, I'll give an example, my bird's millet is getting expensive, like almost $9. So they say, okay, it's gonna be grains for, in some parts of the world, the people eat millet. Grains for people, or animals for people that eat grains. So what is it gonna be? Which is it gonna be? So that's why the price of some of this is going to go up. The other thing they're saying is milk. So right now, I can get this shelf-stable milk for $1.25. And so I'm thinking maybe I'll pick up a little bit. If it starts heating too fast, just pick your pan up. So maybe I'll buy a little bit extra. They don't have a whole lot of stuff on the shelves, and that may be because the price of the stuff is going to be going up. So I want to pick a little bit of stuff up now, so that if the price of things go, because there's nowhere else I can get the whole milk, shelf-stable milk for $1.25, cheaper than Dollar Tree. And I use it in everything. I make yogurt with this. So, okay, potatoes versus rice. Okay, you can get by on 3 tablespoons of rice, and as opposed to 1 potato, the rice would be cheaper and it stores better. But I have always gone more to potatoes because I think they're a little bit more nutritious than rice. But when it comes down to some food shortage, you know, you can grow potatoes. No potatoes have resulted yet, but they are growing. Okay, potatoes versus rice versus oatmeal. So today I bought one of these. This is 2 pounds for $3.98. So oatmeal is about $2 a pound, and they're saying this could double. So this hasn't increased since the last time I bought it. But if this was to increase, it might be $8 for 2 pounds of oatmeal. So I will probably go buy, probably this month, 10 pounds of oatmeal. You know, you think, oh, well, I'm only eating a 1/4 cup oatmeal, but that would be 1 pound. How you can figure that out, that would be 1 pound for a month. So I have about enough for 3 months now. So these are basic foods. Rice is another thing. So now I want to talk about biscuits that I made, and gravy, and it could be sausage, chicken, hamburger, or bacon. Of all those, I think bacon would be the cheapest. Let me see if this thing, last night my phone was really bad. When they want you to buy a new one, your phone starts, you know, starts really bad. Okay, so now if you have just a few ingredients, you're always going to be able to make biscuits. So I just got this biscuit recipe. These are really good biscuits. And, probably the best and cheapest recipe I have ever had, and it's good. It doesn't make too many. It just makes 4, so that's enough. You could make a breakfast sandwich. And when you make good biscuits, all you need is an egg and some cheese or some sausage, and you could make a good biscuit sandwich. And this is a good, easy, this is something I would teach my kids to make. So here they are. Let me give you a close-up. And here we go. This is the good stuff, you guys. Okay. You can make them thicker. See this? One of my customers, you know, my customers used to tell me everything, and really a lot of the things were hair-raising. And one of the things she told me, that when she finally got herself an apartment, she was so happy, and the first thing she made was some biscuits and gravy. And every time I think about that, I think about, wow, you should be grateful you have a roof over your head. You can make yourself biscuits and gravy anytime you want. And yesterday I mentioned to you guys that I made some homemade butter. I just put heavy cream in my blender, and you know, I blended it until I got the Walmart butter, and it made a soft butter, but it all blended up. And you know what's in it. That's the same thing with some of this bread. You know, hate to say it, doesn't taste that good. And I think to myself, what's in this stuff? So I have a little gravy. All right. So this is basic food. Now the other thing is the animal feed affects the milk. It affects pork, because any animal that eats grain is going to affect the price of our food. So here we have it. And then I just saved my other 2 pieces of bacon. Okay, now that's that. Okay, these are easy biscuits. I mix all the dry ingredients: 1 cup flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. So the sugar, the baking soda, the sugar, and the salt is all 1/2 teaspoon. The baking powder is 1 teaspoon, and the flour is 1 cup. So it's easy to remember after a while. So you just I mix it all together with a whisk, really good, and then I make a well in the middle. No, I take 3 tablespoons of cold butter, and I cut them in little pieces, and then I cut it into the flour mixture with a sharp, or you can use 2 forks. For years I used forks, but then I found a couple pastry cutters at at the thrift store. So I cut the butter in, then I make the well, and I had 1/2 a cup of buttermilk, and here it is. I made this out of shelf-stable milk, and I had lemons back there. So I had 1 cup milk, and I used a whole lemon, and I'll use this. I could have put that in my gravy, but I made my own buttermilk. And then I just gently wet my dough, and then I put some flour in a board, and I put my dough, and I carefully turn it around in the flour a little bit to create a soft dough. And then I just used the lid or to my canning jar, or you can just use and cut them out. And I used a little butter, and I love this little pan. I'm trying to find these forever pans. My pizza pan, I thought I saw that in one of the videos I did years ago. I was mentioning some of the stuff I sold, And what I didn't sell was my pizza pan. You guys see it all the time. Then brush a little buttermilk on the top and bake 400. So keep an eye on it. And these biscuits are really nutritious. If you don't have butter, you can use Crisco. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use a coffee creamer, 1/3 cup. I heat my milk for about 1 minute in the microwave first. So if you want to make 1 cup coffee creamer, is 1 cup water, 1/3 cup coffee creamer, and then get the water warm, put the coffee creamer, and then just use vinegar and make your buttermilk that way. So that's easy enough to make. So okay, so once you know how to make good biscuits, you're not gonna live in fear. What I would do now, the flour is 4 pounds. It used to be 5 pounds. But recently I stocked up on about 20 pounds sugar. I think I'll buy a little bit more. So you'll always have bread. You can make these in a skillet. If you have a cast iron skillet, just grease your skillet, put the biscuits in a on low, like on about 1 or 2, and cover it with foil, and you can make them in a skillet. So wheat or flour might double because the conflict in the Ukraine, but also there's been weather problems over there. And so there's going to be more people demanding less available wheat. So that is expected to go up, could double. Okay, now, so I'm watching this thing and they go, well, you can just find other alternatives to flour, like rice flour, almond flour, chickpea flour, and oatmeal. So, okay, or barley. So if you grind it up, I was going to sell my grinder and I thought that's probably not a good idea. Or use your blender and you grind it up and it doesn't give you as good a flour as wheat. So if you can, try to get wheat. Also, when I went to the food pantry, I did get pancake mix. So if you don't have flour, just use your pancake mix in the place of flour. It makes good biscuits. Okay, so like all the basic food, rice, oatmeal, milk, wheat, eggs could double, bacon. They didn't say bacon. Okay, now for the next thing that might double, chicken. Because chickens eat corn and soy. So that goes back to people eat grains or animals eat grains, so people can eat animals. So that presents a problem. So they're saying, well, you better just adjust. The best way to adjust is to stockpile a little. Okay, possible cheese may double because milk is more because of cows, and cheese is made out of milk. So what I do is I try to buy 1 large bag of cheese each month, and then I want to buy 1 large bag of powdered milk, and then stock up a little bit on rice, oatmeal, flour, and so cheese, and then oatmeal. So you can find oatmeal 10 pounds. So now, of all these, like potatoes, rice, and oatmeal, if you have potatoes, you can have mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, French fries, or hash browns. So you want to make sure you have potatoes. Now let me give you the Navajo fry bread. If you have tea and you have Navajo fry bread, this is kind of like the biscuits, but you fry it. So the frying of the bread makes it a little bit more expensive actually, but this is not cheap because you have butter in here and milk. Okay, 1 cup flour, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. Mix that together. You can add a 1/4 cup of powdered milk. That does taste good. Then 1 cup hot water, and I just put a well in the middle of the dry ingredients and mix that up. Then, you know, just like the biscuits, you know, just wet your dough until you get a really nice soft dough, and then put a little oil in a bowl and coat your dough with oil and leave it there about 20 minutes, and then make it in small, like little, kind of like flying saucers, kind of like biscuits, and fry them. And once you learn this, you're always going to have bread. Of all the things, if something was to happen, you want to have bread. Think of those people over there in the Gaza Strip. So, okay, now the other thing is you need milk if you want to make yogurt. I'll probably be making yogurt tomorrow. Okay, so today I got the oatmeal, but I also stocked up on 2 of these oils. That's cheap. I might, you know, when you fry breads, they come out a lot better in a lighter oil. A lot of people use. Then our Dollar Tree had these good honeys for $1.25. I have a big one, but I thought this is a good deal. I bought 2 of those. And then this is another thing that's likely to go up. So these were bought at Dollar Tree, and how long we can get stuff for $1.25, because mayonnaise usually involves eggs. So, and then I got the oatmeal. So I stocked up on a little food. So I decided to go back to work because I thought, you know, I am very healthy, and I thought, why don't you just try to work maybe 5 more years, but not doing hair because that involves the public. So what I want to do is either do the swap meet or eBay. So I sold 4 of my vintage watches cheap this week, and this is how I prevail at the swap meet. So today I went to the thrift store, and I got this book, Adam Clark's Commentary. Okay, what this is this is a commentary on the entire Bible. And there's only 1 of these, so that means it's a good chance to sell this. And so I listed mine. I was able to get this for $1, and I thought, part of the trick, the problem with these are expensive to ship, but try to give the person a good deal. So what happened, I was in the post office, and I saw this young girl, very young, and she was selling like 6 books. And I go, you know, you could try. So they say in prison, the 2 most popular things people like to read are How to Make $1 Million in the Bible. So I tried, and I noticed her books were small. So I got this, Open Your Mind to Prosperity. Don't Worry, Make Money. The Automatic Millionaire. So these little books. And then I bought this book for myself, Snacks and Refreshments. And there were some good recipes in here. I'm going to make some of these. They also had a section on donuts. So I'm always looking for a good donut recipe. So my son and I were talking about this, and he was saying people watch more hours of YouTube than other TV. I mean, YouTube is taking over. So if you want to try to make a channel, and so, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and somebody said you should have a lot more followers and subscribers, and your videos should have more views. I don't try to approach it that way. What I try to do is, from when I retired, I thought if I ever retire, people always used to ask me, how do you get by? How do you do it? And so I said to myself, I want to try to explain it, and it's not that easy, how I do it. And so then today I did 2 good deeds, and this is along the same lines. Okay, somebody dropped their gum in the gym, and so we have to wipe down the equipment, so I dispose of the gym. And so I go, there is a good deed. And then I let this poor guy who looked like he just got off work go in front of me, and I did it solely to get blessings. He goes, this is so nice of you. And I said, yeah, well, I'm trying to build up blessings, kind of like this channel. And I go, it's got to help, wouldn't you say? Say if you do a couple of them every day, you'd be like 700 in 1 year, and 10 years, 7,000. Or like on my videos, if I help somebody, you know, that would be, I go, yeah, and it could rub out your sins. And he goes, well, yeah, it depends how bad they were. And I go, yeah, that's true, but it could still be like the difference between first-degree murder and manslaughter. You'll still be punished, but not as badly. I want to show you something. Look at these. They have grown like crazy. I have to get some pots. This is strange. The front yard, my plants grow good. I want to encourage you guys. This year I got all the food just out of the seeds of I got the dirt from the mountain and the seeds out of my plants. It hasn't been really successful, I'm not going to lie to you. But eventually I'm going to learn how to do this. And my radishes have grown good, except something has eaten them down, and so it's stunning the growth of the radishes. So, and my celery has grown very wacky. The stems are very small, like straws, and I have these huge celery leaves. So it's like when you do this and you start seeing all the bad stuff that can happen. Remember the other day I mentioned to you guys just putting your celery in water. This celery seems to be growing okay, but eventually we're gonna figure out how to dehydrate the food, how to make a little extra money, how to make some biscuits just because they're good, but also the basic food. Everything's going up. What I think they're going to do is start putting strange stuff in our food that's not exactly wheat, that's not exactly cream, you know what I'm saying? All the foods they can't tamper with are getting expensive, and it's just going to get worse. So if you're older, my son was saying a majority of my followers are women. So a lot of women these days have to take care of themselves, and a lot of us are retired. So, okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all.